Hello everyone, and welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay. This is going to take place on... don't remember the name of this map, but there's a reason for that. I hadn't played Starcraft in about a week. One of the reasons you haven't seen many videos up from myself in a little while too. And yeah, my first match, I'm on this map, and I'm like, what the heck is this map? I've never seen this before. So, if you hadn't noticed, there is 2 new maps added to the map pool for 1v1 ladder. So I'm actually going to do my first match on this one and my first match on the other one. And between matches I'll get the names of them so I can tell you that. One of them is something like something plateau, I don't know. Anyways, so I am placing a Zerg, Yoshu, who's spawning in the top left. I didn't look up his stats, but again, I'm sure he's around my range. In fact, before I took the week off, I'd actually made it up to 12th in my Diamond League division in 1,400 points. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about this. There is no expansion outside of your ramps for the usual thing. So I am still going to do my quick expand, but where to do it is the question. You can do it here. That's one option, and you can actually probably wall this off and go in orbital as your second base. Do note there is destructible rocks to get in the back of your base, so you're going to have to keep an eye on that. So that is an option. That actually might be the better option, but as I was just kind of thrown into this scenario without any planning for it, I have decided I'm going to fast expand up here. And if you remember that video I did on Xel'Naga Caverns, where I was babbling garbage at the end talking about how you should fast expand to the high minerals, high yield expansion, even though there's destructible rocks there I forgot about. Well, that sort of babbling nonsense kind of makes sense here, because you can come out here, make this your fortress, and this will be his main focus, and then when you take your third, you can take your third, buried in your back here, and get it as orbital. And then you get 2 orbitals in a fortress, rather than 2 fortresses in an orbital, which is always nice for the extra mules. So I'm basically doing my typical fast expand build. Let's check out Yoshi here. He has no idea I'm there yet, and still doesn't. Good. He's running back the wrong direction. I do not believe that these Xel'Nagas will give sight to the fortress, to your command center. This one might, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't look like it does. So as long as you don't build out from here, like build a barracks out here or barracks out here, you probably will stay out of range of the Xel'Naga towers. So yeah, map features to look at. I'm just doing my usual build. One for sure is this destructible rocks. And one of the disadvantages of this particular set of destructible rocks is usually you get the high ground and he has to work his way up from the low ground, like on blistering sands. But in this case, it's level ground. So if you put a marine here and he has a marauder here, he's going to be able to pot shot you and get through. So what I will do is I'll build a supply depot here fairly early just to keep an eye on it. I have lost a tournament match doing this sort of strategy on Blistering Sands. I never played Blistering Sands, but I tried to do my fast expand, and it was just too much against a 4 warp gate rush to protect both my front line and my back door. Maybe if I gave it a couple more tries I could get better at it, but at the time, first time playing that map, it didn't turn out well, so it is something I'm worried about here. Do I have any water here? I did not bring any water. That was dumb. So it looks like Zerg's got his expansion up. Let's bring up the harvester count here, and it's pretty even. I probably had an advantage for going for a little while, because I'm pretty sure I got my expansion up first. No, I don't have it saturated, so there was no lead from this scenario. Although I do like my expansion better, where I'm going to have an easy to take third, where he's going to have to actually push out to take his third. So when it comes to taking a third expansion, I like my situation much, much better. Looks like I'm finally transferring out SCVs now. I guess I'm pretty late on it because I'm transferring out more than normal. Usually I transfer out about 5 to 6 SCVs. That usually evens up both my bases. Actually, it leaves a few more in my home base, but my home base I have to get Vespene, where my expansion I don't need Vespene for a while. I'm going to go my bio build. And against Zerg anyways, I don't need a whole lot of Vespene early on. Against Protoss, I like to get the 4 Vespenes going quickly just for the ghosts. And possibly Vikings and possibly Viking upgrades, depending on if he's going Colossi. So I I'm getting my supply people down here, and just in time. Looks like he's going to start picking away at with one Zergling. And had I let this stand, I mean, 25 minutes from now, he might be halfway through these rocks, so I can't let that happen. Decent little Overlord spread here, and he does have the high yield. Let's check out his video, see what he can see. Oops, wrong button. So he cannot see my expansion. He still doesn't know I'm there, actually. That's kind of interesting. I guess you must assume I got this base, or that I'm just power rushing. He's playing a little bit blind at this point in the game. Let's bring up the units tab. He has only 4 Zerglings though, so the fact that he hasn't seen expansion, that's actually pretty shocking that he's confident enough to only have 4 Zerglings on the field. Which probably means he's way ahead in harvester count, right? Well, not that far. I gotta say my macro's getting a little bit better these days. I'm focusing a little more on it. Just really keeping an eye on my mineral count up in the corner here. I'm doing my best to keep it down. Okay, maybe not the best example at this moment. I'm up around 700. But yeah, not too bad. So we do have a layer out from Zerg, and I did scan him, and of course I didn't see any tech. I did see the Roach Warren, so I'm thinking, maybe Nidus Worm. Actually, I'm only thinking that now. I don't think I actually thought that at the time. But, oh, he's hiding his fire in the corner. It's a little annoying. So I guess my decision was good, because normally I would just use my next scan to scan his expansion, hoping to find his tech, and I guess that would have been a fail as well. But I'm going to do something a little bit different this game. This one little option you can use for scouting, and it's not that bad. Especially as my fortress is kind of halfway out, that I have SCVs pretty close to his base. So what I am actually going to do here is I'm going to run out my SCV, and I'm going to build a barracks just outside of his base, and this is solely going to be for scouting. Looks like the Overlord spotted me, but it's not a whole lot he can do about this. Unless he wants to blow out his own destructible rocks, which probably isn't smart. Anyways, yeah, I mean, a scan, more or less you can think of a scan costing you 270 to 300 minerals, because that's normally what a mule will bring in for you, and you don't get that mule because of the scan. So what I'm doing is building a barracks, which is only 150 minerals, and it's kind of like mobile scout. You know, instead of scouting one spot, I can just run it through all of his base, and since he's drone pumping so hard, I'm sure I'll actually make it all the way through. And it wouldn't actually be bad if he attacked my barracks with these mutalisks, because it would give away the fact that he's going mutalisks. So it looks like in taking the Xel'Nagas, I do see the mutalisks, so my scouting barracks is not going to be in time to get this, and now it's panic time. I'm going to try to throw down some turrets as quickly as I can, start making some marines. So there's some turrets, couple turrets in my line. And I'll go out to build my production area afterwards, and then also going to build some turrets in this area. Thank God, I still don't think he's seen that expansion. Okay, now I think he finally has. But he's come to my main base first. I am chasing with marines. He's kind of kiting his way away, but I do get missile turret up in time. That's not too bad. I'm sure he got a few kills. If we just pause it here, we can check really quickly. Only 2 SCV kills. Nice. And he still doesn't see any missile turrets here, so he's going to get a little rude awakening. But no mutalisks killed. Dumb marine. So it looks like my barracks did make it completely through his base. I've seen everything. I've seen the Baling Nest, the Hydralisk Den, the Spire. Oh, this guy's just going for every tech there is, isn't he? Doesn't look like I saw the evolution chamber or infestation pit though. Man, he's literally building every tech there is. That can't be a good option, can it? And especially if you're going to be going everything, why even get the Evo chamber? I mean, your upgrades are going to be so sparse as you got so many different unit types. Although I find ground melee and ground carapace is very good for Zerg just because it affects your Zerglings, your Banelings, your Broodlings that are fired up from your Broodlords, your Ultralisks. It's pretty good for like all like the key units the Zerg likes to make. Agilisks aren't as common these days, and Roaches are basically like an emergency unit typically for Zerg. Although sometimes you can use them offensively. Will catch Terrans off guard. So now this is another map feature where I find these Xel'Nagas are very key. Because honestly, there's not many bases on this map. You get your main base and your buried expansion that are both pretty safe. And there's 2 way off in the corners and 2 in the middle, and that's it. Corner ones are hard to defend, so you gotta be expecting a lot of battling in the middle here. I could really use some water. I'm gonna grab some water between this replay and the next one. So it looks like a nice mix of everything here. He's got his mutas there, he's making some Banelings, which is always good versus bio. He's got the Baneling Zergling as typical, but he's also got some Roaches and Hydras mixed in, so not quite sure what to make of that. So I'm 1-1 with my 4 medevacs. This is my usual push-out time. I hope I go soon. Looks like it's actually gonna hit me. And it looks like a little slow react. Oh, that's a lot of Banelings! Oh, should have started repairing that much earlier. But the one thing is, he did waste all his Banelings to destroy that structure, which means I should have an army advantage here. So, time to push out. I said time to push out. Time to push. There we go. So, yeah, with just a handful of Hydralisks left here, I'm sure this is going to be an easy mop-up. Hopefully I didn't lose a unit there. So I did save most of my SCVs, so I'm kind of really oversaturated my main, but I got this expansion going up, and I'm sure I'll start rebuilding here any moment. Although, this is the problem with spending all your money and being good at macro. Now I don't have any leftover money to save my butt in these cases. So just mining off the one base, which is getting pretty dry. And I guess I'm going to have to hold off on my macro here. If we bring up my barracks, yeah, I'm kind of just letting that slip so I can start building a command center here. Loading up my medevacs, going to go for a drop. Problem with this drop was I didn't really have a goal in mind besides, let's drop. So I stim and I A-move. And yeah, I'm killing a few drones. And again, infestation pit, but really, okay, I didn't really micro my Marines that well. I mean, yes, I pulled some back, but it was long after the fact. So I didn't snipe the lair, I didn't kill a ton of drones. It was just kind of a, I don't know. I'm hoping that battle was a draw, but it probably wasn't. Oh, I lost all my medevacs too. No, it probably wasn't a draw. That was probably a big loss for me. So my opponent has 5,000 in the bank, and I'm just getting up enough money to make units now. You can see as soon as I do a wave of unit macro from my barracks, all that money is going to be gone. So kind of interesting. I don't think the problem was that he stockpiled money. I think the problem is that I just sniped his 3rd hatchery. Where's his queen? Did I snipe a queen? He's got no queens. He's got 2 hatcheries and no queens. That could be a problem. No, he definitely had a leftover queen. I saw it before. Where are you, queen? Let's actually go to unit tab. That's a good way to find out. Yeah, it's only has 1 queen for the 2 hatcheries. I guess he's just walking back and forth, probably doing both. Oh no, maybe not. Yep, so it's this lack of larvae, which is actually the problem here. And he should really be populating this gas now that it's done. I mean, he needs gas direly. Direly? Sure, we can make up words, why not? So that explains why I went double hatchery. That kind of confused me. But if you are going to build a utility hatchery, build it somewhere safe. I mean, that's just not thinking straight in the chaos.